Hey everybody, this is James from All Outdoors, and today what I have for you today is the Smith Wesson Model 10 No Lock. This debuted in SHOT Show 2025, but again it is a more or less a dressed up version of the firm's famous Model 10 military and police revolver. It's been in continuous production since 1899, but recently the latest models have been coming with a key lock, and this is one of the first new service style handguns that is now coming without the lock. So let's go ahead and give it a few shots. Then we'll put it on paper. All right, let's have a closer look at the Smith & Wesson Model 10-15 No Lock. For effect, I have the old Smith & Wesson M&P made back in 1918. I have a video on that one. It's an old gun, but to have it up there for effect because it shares a few similarities that the new model has reintroduced. Now, most late model Model 10s that are on the market today have a bull barrel, but this particular one has a classic tapered barrel with a half-moon front sight, just like the very first models. It also has a flared tip on the ejector rod, which definitely helps when it comes to smacking those empty cases out of the gun. Moving a little bit closer to the action, this is an all carbon steel gun with a blue finish. Has a 6-shot fluted cylinder and a wide thumb piece, which again was a feature that was around for the Victory model and for the old M&Ps, but was discontinued after World War II. In any case, that feature's back on the new Model 10. Also, one thing to note is the slick-sided grips that are on the new Model 10. That harkens back to the old Victory model, which came with plain Jane walnut grips. And we'll give you a quick look at the other side. There aren't any controls over here, but it has this nice Smith & Wesson stamp on the barrel. Trademark. There we go. Very simple, double action, single action package. Alright, let's go ahead and put the Smith & Wesson Model 10 No Lock on paper. We have a clean target of 15 yards, and we're starting out with some FBI loads. These are some 158 grain lead hollow points plus P. These shoot these very well, but the fixed sights in this gun tend to shoot them a little bit high. The old Model 10s were actually regulated for rounds just like this, which were carried on duty by cops everywhere. They were regulated for a nominal 158 grain round, but these days, when most folks are carrying a 38, it's usually a small gun. It's usually a very small snub-nosed revolver with a 125 grain bullet, which is a little bit lighter. So we'll see how this goes. Yeah, a little bit high. Not so bad though. I'm going to go ahead and try some Hornady Critical Defense plus P rounds with some FTX bullets. These are 110 grain plus P rounds, so they're a little bit lighter. Hopefully we can differentiate the impacts. I'll show you when we get down there. I gotta say the action on this Model 10 is actually surprisingly good. I would expect a newer generation of guns to have an inferior action compared to, say, an old vintage model. But actually the action of this is actually just as smooth, but it's just a little bit heavier in double action from what I find. Just a little bit heavier, about 9 pounds in double action, and about 3.5 to 4 pounds in single action. But I've only been shooting in double action, so that doesn't matter. Alright, let's give it a go. 6 more rounds. Place. Actually, I was a little bit mistaken. Here are our rounds with the 158 grain rounds. The 110 grain rounds actually were hitting very close to the point I aimed there. Again, I'm favoring a little bit to the right this particular day. The new Model 10 is part of Smith & Wesson's classic series, so on its face, it is considered a collectible.
but there are too many Model 10s out there for that to really be the case. So I'm looking at this from a shooter's perspective. I put 300 rounds through this one without any issues at all. If anything, going back to the original cylinder release and flared ejector rod actually made loading and unloading easier. The only bug I found was that the slick grips tended to slide a bit in my hand while shooting stouter plus P loads. Can I say the deletion of the lock made the gun more shootable? No, but it makes the revolver look a lot better. So if you want the security of buying new, the new Model 10 is still a good pick. Thank you for watching.